that meeting, or you just have the energy and maybe something like really sparked for you in this business and you just really want to share that with people. So it's definitely one or the other.
I love that. You know what? I love that about, and we talked about it earlier this year before convention about big events, and we have the builder schools that are coming up. And, I know sometimes it can be a little stressful, intimidating, all this stuff like, oh my gosh, we've got so much to do before that. Got to get our tickets, got to figure out babysitters, all this kind of stuff. But there is so much that is caught at these, especially these big events, but even these Friday night trainings, Sunday night skills, these various meetings we have throughout the week. There's just so much that is caught that you're never going to learn out in a textbook or even out in the field sometimes working, like things that you pick up from leaders who have been there, done that, all that kind of stuff. It's just, I just don't think there's anything else that compares to it. Can't replace it.
Yeah, absolutely. They say, you got to build your business from big event to big event, but also from meeting to meeting, right? I think also I always talk to my team about, and I got this also from someone else in Primerica. We kind of just recycle stuff. It's okay. But we talk about how the meetings are like a energy source, right? And if you think about like your phone, if your phone dies, you need to plug it in. Same thing with yourself, right? We have to stay plugged into these meetings, plugged into these trainings, because outside of here, is a not so positive, amazing world, right? So we need to stay plugged in to keep our positive mindset and to keep motivated to build our business as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys all hit the nail on the head. It's just every time I leave this Friday meeting, I'm just more fired up than ever before. You know, all the leaders that are always talking, they're talking from experience and success, right? So like we're always constantly trying to develop, improve. And that's the one thing that's always impressed me about Primerica is where else are you going to find a company that's surrounded with wealthy people or soon to be wealthy people that are trying to teach you on how to be wealthy? Right. We're not used to that in corporate America. I can tell you that. Usually you're just doing a bare minimum just to get by and hope that you still have a job. Here, where the leaders are pouring belief into you, they're teaching you what to do, they're telling you what's successful, they're telling you what's not successful. We just got to follow the game plan and have the faith that it's going to work out, right? So
You definitely learn a lot about people when you sit through these meetings, like especially, yeah, like you were saying, Jeff, compared to like a corporate job meeting, things like that. You go in and they tell you what to do. They tell you to do all the things, but they're not telling you how to get wealthy. They're not telling you they're going to pay you more to do these things. I mean, sometimes there might be a bonus here and there, maybe whatever, if you go way, way, way above and beyond. But truly, they expect you to constantly go above and beyond to grow their businesses while you're still making your little salary that keeps you coming back because you're not making enough to to be able to go anywhere else. You know what I mean? They keep you coming back for. So it's really refreshing, these meetings and stuff. And I know most people on here are part-time with us. And so, they go from their corporate job and then they're coming here as well. So they have a balance. They know the difference and they can see the comparison between the two. And I think that's really cool. I think that you can see see people's hearts here and you can see where people are truly coming from. I mean, you see the people's hearts over in those other meetings too, but hopefully ours are different, right?
yeah, so what are some tips you guys have? So if someone's plugging into their very first meeting, what should they be focusing on? What should they be doing to get the most out of this meeting? There you go. Taking
Yeah,
notes.
Mel's got it down. Yes, pen and paper handy. You never know. I'll have some questions also jotted down, like of what you think you're gonna run into, or like things that you want covered out of these meetings, right? Like, and if that question gets answered, then jot that answer down. And if it doesn't get answered, then you have something to chat about with your trainer who brought you in, right?
That's good. I think being fully present too, right? Getting in the habit of being fully present. Don't have like the TV on and this going on and that going on, or you're driving and you're doing this, right? If you can help it, be sitting down, fully present, notifications away, read all the distractions if you can. I know sometimes, people have kids and stuff, but as much as you can, become distraction free and get fully present because otherwise you're going to miss the thing that you need the most.
Yeah, I think having your camera on really actually keeps you accountable. Well, you
I'm
said
gonna say that.
gas is, making sure that you're paying attention. I mean, you turn that camera on, guess what? If you're in your underpants, you ain't standing up, okay? So,
Yeah, so if you have your camera off right now and you're able to turn it on, turn it on.
Hint, 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 hint.
Wink,
You know
wink.
what's another thing is coming with expectations, coming in with like sometimes we talk we let people know ahead of time what's going to be happening. Like we let everybody know that Nate and Mel Braley and Jarell and Jackie were going to be on the call tonight, and they're all $100,000 a year earners, and like let everybody know that that's what's coming so they can come prepared, and they know that they're going to be hearing from these top earners and these successful people, and so then they kind of have expectations, and then maybe they can write things ahead of time and look for things, listen for things, little tips that they can pick up and stuff like that from different people.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah, I think you guys all covered the basis. And just to add on to what you guys were saying, so I go into every meeting with an expectation, like what am I trying to get out of this meeting? And then I'm because we've always been taught that if you are listening specifically for something, you'll usually hear it, right? And on some level. And we cover so many things in our trainings between products, leadership, whatever it looks like. So just be present, take notes. And then I always try to write down 2 or 3 things that I learned from the meeting that I can apply to my business, or maybe it's just even reaffirming that I'm doing the right things in my business, right? You always got to do the checkup from the neck up. You always got to like take a snapshot of where you are in your business, where you want to go, take the things that people are teaching you and actually apply that. I know sometimes you hear some great quotes out of this, the leaders talking about certain things to help us remember stuff. But at the same time, we just can't just repeat what they're saying. We actually got to do what they're saying, right? Knowledge is not power. It's the use or application of that knowledge that's power, right? That will get you the results.
That's really good. And you got to think of your team too, right? If you come on these trainings and your camera's always off, right? Or you're barely on the meetings, are you really going to build a successful team too? Your team is going to think, oh, that's just what we do, right? We come on and they got, my upline got their camera off. I don't need to have, mine on, right? So you want to set a good example, even if you're brand new, right? Because the next person that you bring into the business, you're setting an example for them. So remember that from the beginning too.
Think about the time you save in training people as well, because if I were to go through and we have 42 people on the call right now. If I was to go through and spend the next hour and a half, right, that I'm talking with 42 people, but if I were to spend those individually one-on-one, that's 42 hours. Well, I can't do 1.5 times 42. Anyway, it's more than that, almost double, 1.5 times that. I was like that 60 something hours with all those people versus an hour and a half to get the same information across. Think about that time that I just got back. That time that I can use with my family, that I can do other business related things that I need to do. That's such a time saver and a good use of your time. I'm always a work smarter, not harder. It's always been kind of my thing growing up. And, people called me lazy when I was growing up, but I found out later in life, I'm just efficient.
You made a really good point though there, Mel. Like a lot of people, some people will say, well, I've got to do this with my family and I've got to do that with my family, right? And if you are thinking more, forward thinking, okay, if I just sit here and be present now, I'm going to free up more time later, way more time later for my family, right? You got to think ahead. Everybody's so, short-sighted.
Definitely.
David Pepper in the comments section saying strategically lazy. That was a good one.
Or efficiently lazy.
Yeah.
No, you hit the nail on the head though, Melody, with leveraging time. I mean, that's what our business is about, right? Leveraging time. That's why we want to recruit a bunch of people and talk to as many people so we can kind of speed up the process of not having to work 40 years. So if we get more people plugged into the trainings and using the knowledge that they're given, and as everybody pointed out, grow from meeting attendance to meeting attendance. And, coming from Ian's hierarchy, he always said that for every person that you have showing up to a regular training, you're going to at least override 1 or 2 sales a month off of them. right? They're going to learn that stuff. So we may not see it in the beginning, but this translates into sales. It translates into commitment. It translates into building team unity and bonds and that sort of stuff. So a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah,
It does,
that's
and
so true.
while you're working on getting yourself better, and while you're like the newest new person can be on here and can learn and gain knowledge and understanding while they're new people are learning, and they don't have to know all the stuff first. You know, there's so many people who say, "Oh yeah, once I know everything, then I'll start talking to people." Well, no, why don't you guys just all learn together, and then we'll save time. Yes, we'll leverage that time, but yeah, you don't have to know everything first. Like, you can borrow other people's success. I love that. I think Ian talked about that too back in the day, borrowing other people's success. Like, you may not have the success that you want yet, or the success that you're gonna have one day, but look at all the people on this call who do have success already. We've got $400,000 earner, $100,000 earner, $200,000 earners on this call who have been successful. People here in business for years now that are successful and show that this is a legitimate company. This isn't a scam. This isn't, you know, whatever, this, that, and the other that people say. And the newest new person can learn that while their newest new person is learning that as well. So you don't have to know everything, because other people here know way more than you, and you can leverage their success and their knowledge while you're still obtaining that.
Yeah. So good. So good. I've had a lot of teammates before, you know, say that. They're like, I want to learn everything, and then I'll bring some people in. And why? You can literally just dump all this on your trainer. Like, let them do the work for you. I always tell our teammates, like, use us, like, seriously, use us as much as you possibly can in the beginning, because this is really the only time that you could just like, so book their calendar, man. It's only going to help you moving forward.
Yeah, before it's your responsibility to have to make sure that everything is getting covered, because look at all of us now. We didn't all come in as VPs. We didn't all come in, you know, knowing everything. We weren't licensed. Most of us weren't licensed when we started this business. We all came here. We started at the bottom. We leveraged our trainers and all of their knowledge and experience and things like that as we grew. And now we're able to do the same thing. So definitely, yeah, absolutely. Come to everything. Stay for the whole thing too. That's another thing, is don't leave early. I know it can be tempting, and like Builder School that's coming up in a couple next month, actually, right? 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. We've got Builder School coming up. The day can get a little long sometimes. So bring snacks and things with you. Bring a notebook, bring water bottles and things with you, so you're not having to leave and get up and go and get stuff and whatnot. But don't leave early. Don't leave early. They have the speakers and recognition and different things throughout the event strategically placed to keep re-engaging you and drawing you back in. So I know it can be kind of a long day sometimes, and especially after lunchtime, people can be like, oh, okay, well, that was delicious. I'm gonna go take a nap now. Don't take a nap. Come right back in, get excited, get ready to go, because you're gonna learn something. You would hate to miss that $1 million idea, right? Like, and that's, I've seen that happen to people before. I've seen it happen, and that would be such a shame.
And that's so true. Like, you'll literally hear one thing and be like, everything's changed forever. It's just that one little nugget you get from it. But if you're, like Mel said, if you're leaving early, or you're not really plugged in as well, you're gonna miss those all the time. So definitely big events, same thing as meetings. You got to treat them the same. Make sure you're at every single one.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed the pre-talks and the post-talks just as much as the actual content of the meetings too. I mean, there's just something about the pre-game and the post-game that, you know, that adds on to what we've learned during the actual course too. So,
and bonding with your team and stuff like that too, like that doesn't happen when we're only over Zoom, right? Get in person, get at these big events for sure.
Surround yourself with like-minded individuals, guys. This has been so good. And those of you who are here for the pre-game, that was fantastic. Those of you who are just joining us now, welcome to Friday Night Live. We are so excited to be here with you guys. Let's get right into some announcements. So, guys, make sure that we are on time. Pre-game starts at 6:45. We went over the importance of meeting attendance and all that kind of stuff. So if you weren't here, you didn't get to hear all that. You didn't get to hear from 4 different RVPs as we were talking. So make sure that you are on time. You don't want to miss something that was meant for you. Guys, make sure your cameras are on. We love to see your faces. We love to see the engagement. Especially in the Zoom world, it can kind of feel like you're just talking to a wall sometimes. So be engaged. Let the speaker know that you hear them and that you understand what's happening. Guys, make sure you're taking notes. I've got my pencil and paper here. I'm a regional vice president. I've been here for 15 years and I still take notes, guys. Make sure you're taking notes. My husband always says the dullest pencil remembers more than the sharpest brain. So make sure you're taking notes and learn something. Maybe you came here for something specific. Maybe you came here for some affirmation, things like that. But make sure you're listening for that and looking for that. I bet you'll get what you came for. Guys, Builder School is coming up this next month. If you don't know what Builder School is, ask the person who brought you on. Bring your or ask your trainer about Builder School. We've got a couple coming up. We've got East Coast Builder School. That is in Florida, just outside of Tampa, I believe. That is October 11th and 12th. And then we have Midwest Builder School. That's in Michigan. That's where I'm going to be. That is October 18th and 19th. This is 6 months worth of training packed into 2 days. You do not want to miss this. We have $1 million earners in our company coming in to speak to you guys, to pour into you, let them know their journey here in this business and their journey to success. And you do not want to miss that. You guys, if you have not purchased your tickets yet, go ahead and scan those QR codes. Talk to your trainer to find out which school they want you to be at. And then I encourage you to go ahead and purchase the digital ticket for the other one if you can't make it to both in person. Fantastic opportunities though, guys. You may or may not know it, but you are right now competing for a trip to Universal in Florida, completely paid for by Primerica. Guys, it's called the Nights with No Lines. Primerica literally buys out the park for the whole night for you, and I think it's 2,000 or 4,000 people, and that's all that there's there. I think Universal can hold like 60,000 people or some crazy number like that, and there's only between 2,000 and 4,000 people who are going to be there. There will be no lines. The food is all included, everything like that. You can ride all the rides, eat all the food, and throw up and do it all again. It's great, fantastic. But they have opened up 185 more slots to compete just they just opened it up just when this month started. And then this month, because it is National Life Insurance Awareness Month, every life insurance application that you take, you get double points for the Universal trip. So that is huge. That's so huge. So make sure you are doing that. And I don't know if you noticed, but we have a few guests on our training tonight. We have $400,000 earner Nate and Melanie Braley and $100,000 earner Jarrell and Jackie Borden. So please give them a warm welcome. Shout them out in the chat there. Make them feel so good. They have given up their Friday nights to come and be with us tonight. Their teams are here, so welcome them. Guys, I hope you have your pencils and papers ready to go. I'm going to bring up our first speaker of the night, get us right into Friday night training, and it is none other than my husband, Jerome Cooper. Go ahead, take it away, babe.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Hey, type it in the chat, man, if you're repping your team tonight. It's good to see you guys, and we're excited for our guest speakers this evening and their teammates. And great job, panel. Bunch of good information, man. And meetings are so important. You know, they bridge the gap. They bridge the gap. You know, you're in the field and you're learning stuff in the field. You're out there meeting with potential clients, potential recruits, and you're learning. But what happens is the things that you miss in the field, you pick up in trainings and meetings, and the things that you miss in trainings and meetings, you pick up in the field. So that it does play a big part. I'm going to dive right in because we want to get to our guest speakers this evening. But tonight, I'm going to talk to you guys about, let me share my screen here. Well, here we go. Running. So I'm going to share with you guys tonight about the 10 things that do not require talent. And it's so crazy that winning is so much easier than we make it out to be. And we can do that just by doing some very basic things that kind of set us apart or set us ahead. So I got 10 of them. We're going to fly through them. Number one is being on time. Being on time. Listen, on time is late and early is on time, right? So like on time is late and early is on time. Like it takes no special talent to be on time, especially in the Zoom era. Like, it always blows my mind that people are late in the Zoom era. Like, just click your phone and turn it on. You know what I mean? And you're on time. But it shows so much about a person. Listen, people are always judging the book by its cover, right? They're judging these little things that you do. And I can tell you from experience, especially, you know, some of your leaders on tonight, we grew up in the era of Primerica where you met in person with people, and you would lose the opportunity on business because you were showing up late, or they would look at you differently, right? Or think about you differently. So let's put the odds in our favor by doing this little thing, showing up on time. So that's number one, being on time. Number two is a work ethic, having a good work ethic. Listen, the cool thing about a work ethic is you can create it. It's a behavior. It's a behavior that can be cultivated and created. You might say, hey, I don't have it now, but it can be created and cultivated over time with this third point that I have for you guys, and these kind of tied together, which is with effort. With effort. How do you create that work ethic? You create it through effort. See, you have to be vigorous and determined at making an actual attempt. You know, it always blew my mind. Like, our business, if you actually really pay attention to it, it's data collection, right? It's data collection. It's you gather data, you make a game plan from that data, and then you go and do again. Right. And I would have people feel like, hey, you know, I made an effort, Jerome. I tried, it didn't work. And I'm like, okay, tell me about that effort, Jennifer. Well, you know, I sent out my Facebook message, you know, 4-5 days in a row. Well, if I were to be completely honest with you, knowing what I know, that is not a good enough attempt. Right? That is not a good enough attempt. Like, you need to put that effort and that time and that energy in over periods of time, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days, 6 months, a year, 2 years sometimes. That effort and energy needs to be put out. So, you know, that's effort and work ethic. Number 4, 5, and 6 are pretty much the same. So you have your energy, right? You have your attitude, number 6. And number 7 is passion. See, listen, your body language, your energy, and your I'm sorry, I'm gonna go back here. I skipped one. Let me go back. Sorry about that. Before is body language. Number 5 is your energy, and then number 6 is attitude. So body language, your energy, and attitude, the next 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right? These things, like, these things introduce you before you do. Right? Your body language, your energy, your attitude introduce you before you do. Give you a good example. I met with a young lady today, and this over Zoom, even over Zoom, you can feel it, right? And she was just, hey, Jerome, how's it going? Glad to be on, right? And I'm like, oh gosh, I got a Debbie Downer in front of me. I gotta put some work in to bring her up to my level. Remember, whatever you are exudes off of you. You cannot hide it from people, right? So if you're negative, that's going to exude off of you. If you are positive, that's going to exude off of you. Last time I checked, being positive, being upbeat, being a person of high energy serves you better than the being negative, being a Debbie Downer, right? Talking down, all these negative things, they don't serve you well. They don't serve you well. And what you will find is, you got to remember, we're in the business of attracting and retaining people, right? And people are attracted, right? And they stick to people that have good energy. They're going somewhere. They talk a little faster. They move a little faster, right? People like that, right? So you got to do 4, 5, and 6. Well, you got to have great body language. Listen, are you on tonight? Are you smiling? Are you taking notes, right? Are you excited? Can people sense that when they see you? Your energy has to be there, and you got to have a great attitude, even when it's tough to. It'll be tough to sometimes. Trust me. I promise you, right? We are in the flesh in this world. It's tough, right? I know some of you can post in the chat some things that you got going on that's tough right now. But I'm imploring you through those things that you can have great body language, you can have good energy, and you can have a good attitude. You can have a good attitude. Let's go 7. You got to have some passion. Are you guys questioning my passion tonight? I don't think so. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's exuding off of me. But you gotta, when it comes to the passion, you gotta go hard. And I think one of the things that helps with the passion is just our crusade. Right now you might have some passion, for some other reasons, right? You got your objectives and goals for doing this. You want to take care of your family. You want to support that charity, whatever the case may be. You might be passionate about that. You need to draw from that, right? You need to draw from that. That's going to be ultra helpful. Also, the crusade can help you become passionate. Listen, man, people are looking for work out there. People are looking to make better money. They're looking to, for the time that they're given to get more out of that time that they can't get at their jobs, right? You guys know our crusade on the insurance. Whole life cash value is still running rampant, and we need to take that out, right? Listen, debt is at a freaking all-time high, right? Debt is at an all-time high. It's killing people, right? And people aren't saving and investing for their future. It's not being talked about. It's not being educated on our school systems. So tell me, can you get passionate about that? Right? If that can't fire you up, plus, right, your objectives and goals in life, right? I don't know what can. I don't know what can. You need to call your doctor, get an appointment, and we need to get you checked up quick, right? Get you a checkup quick. So number 7 is you got to be passionate. Number 8, you got to be coachable. Man, you got to be coachable. Listen, I heard it saying a long time ago, you need to be coachable and not chokeable. Coachable and not chokeable. Listen, if you're wondering what to do, John, go and do what your coach told you to do to begin with. Listen, the people that are leading you and training you on here, right? We have a let's just be real, Bonita. We have a financial interest in you doing well. If we were to be completely honest, right? We have a financial interest in you doing well. So with that being said, if I have a financial interest in you doing well, why would I give you coaching or advice that will lead you astray? That does not make sense, right? So you want to be the most coachable person that you can be. And in that coachability, number 9, you need to do some extra stuff as well. You need to go above and beyond your title, right? See, people need to think that you're a regional vice president before you go and sign that contract, Daniel. They need to be like, man, I remember back in the day, and Jackie and Jarrell and Jeff, they might remember this. But back in the day, man, when we would have our in-person meetings, and we would have those sign-in sheets at the front. You guys remember the sign-in sheets? Margaret, you remember the sign-in sheets at the front? We were manning those sign-in sheets, right? And I would have people, this is before I was a regional vice president, and people literally will ask me like, man, where's your sheet at? We don't see your sheet up here. They thought I was a regional vice president before I got the title. Why is that? Because I did extra. I went above and beyond my title, right? I was a regional vice president before I signed that title, okay? So you need to do extra. And number 10, to wrap us out, and I'll bring our next speaker up, right? You need to be prepared. You need to be prepared. Listen, preparation plus an opportunity equals success. Preparation plus an opportunity equals success. It blows me away, Gina, when I have teammates that they've been around for a little bit, and I ask them to do simple things like, hey, call me and set an appointment. Call me and set a recruiting appointment. And they're like a deer in headlights. That shows me that they have not prepared. Right? So you need to take some time every day and prepare. Prepare for what? Right? Listen, in sports, you have practice. See, my wife, she's on her way to pick my son up from football practice right now. See, Gunner is preparing for his football game on Sunday. Right? Now, in the game, he cannot prepare then. it's too late, right? It's too late to be like, oh, I'm on the field now. I got to get ready. No, he needs to be ready before he hits the field, right? So that's going to happen in his preparation. Same in Primerica, right? In your downtime, you need to be prepping. You need to be working on getting better, studying your scripts, studying your presentations, right? All these different types of things. And that takes time. That takes time. But when you get into the game, what's the game? You're on an appointment, you're giving a presentation, you're recruiting somebody, you're dealing with a client, you're prepared and ready to go. You're prepared and ready to go. So I hopefully that was helpful this evening. This next speaker, man, I'm excited for her and her spouse, man. They have been great friends of Mel and I. They are $100,000 per year earners, near term $200,000 per year earners. They're a power couple. I was looking at some numbers. They're always in the top in the state of Michigan in production, top in the state of Michigan in licensing. Like every category their name shows up in, which shows a well-rounded business. So without further ado, going over some social media etiquette, Jackie Potter, it's on you, friend.
Thanks, Jerome. Oh my goodness, you guys. I see all these sweet smiling faces. What up? What up? Guys, I thrive off of this chat box over here. I'm one of those folks, right? So blow up the chat for me. Drop some fire emojis. Say, what up, girl? What up, Jackie? You know what I mean, right? And so I'm so excited. It's such an honor to be speaking with this incredible organization, you guys. I see you all doing incredible and amazing things. And I am just so stoked. You have no idea. And I think the biggest thing as well, too, is just being a part of something special, you guys. That's what you are. And I love the theme tonight as well, too, y'all. I'm repping one of the greatest teams ever, Primerica, right? So if you guys don't have your future jerseys, you guys go out and fight for those jerseys. You guys be in the top of the crop below regional vice president. Hey, those that go regional vice president, you'll notice a lot of them get their future jerseys. So make sure you snag that as well too, you guys. So I'm going to be going over some greatness tonight, guys. Like, how many of y'all want to be a pro in social media? We can't run from social media. I truly believe it's one of our greatest tools in our tool belt. Yeah. Hey, me. Oh, man, it's only Cassandra and Michael that want me about social media. Okay, here we go, y'all. Right. So, guys, I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to be a pro, how to approach it in a great and amazing manner as well, too, and being able to allow for it to escalate your business and using this tool. And disclaimer, you guys, this is not the only tool that you use in your tool belt in this business. This is just one of the fundamentals, and you'll learn that as you begin to grow within your leaders as well. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Hey, drop some thumbs up in the chat once you guys see this as well too. I just want to make sure that everybody can see it. Because you'll learn. My partner Drell is more of the tech than I am, so I always just want to make sure. But guys, social media is a great tool, and I always say you have to approach it like a pro. And when we come into this business, you guys, not all of us are a pro at this. Am I right? Like, how many of you guys came here and like social media was just, maybe it was a different animal. You're like, how do I approach this, right? So that's just something that you have to keep in mind when you're utilizing this to, one, market yourself, and then also two, being able to reach more clients, being able to reach more teammates, and being able to grow to the next level. And so, guys, just some disclaimer, just some food for thought as well. When you're approaching social media, you guys, drop this in the chat. Language is powerful when you're utilizing social media and becoming a pro at it, y'all. Language is important. And so as you walk into your financial services business, you guys, think about what type of language you're using on your social media platform, whether you're using Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I know Threads. I'm starting to learn about Threads, you guys. How many of y'all, drop in the chat, how many of y'all are learning about the Threads? I'm learning about that one too, right? So you got to start thinking about, how are you approaching these people? Are you being tasteful? Are you reaching a certain audience? That's the biggest thing as well too. I know my audience. I know who I'm talking to. just kind of an example. I talk to a lot of stay-at-home moms because who's a stay-at-home mom? I am. Even though I work this business full time, I am one of the lead agents within our Jarrell and I's business. We're both lead agents. It's kind of a little bit different when you hear about it as well too. But you just got to think about, are you being tasteful? Are there, you know, not some kind words and crude humor on your social media, right? You just got to think about, what are you wanting to attract within your business? And, you know, the biggest thing as well too, that I always say as well too, Jeff, is how do you direct message others? How do you connect with people? That's another important thing to keep in mind as well too. And presentation, I always remember this as well. Begin to think about your appearance. Are you guys professional? Is it a pleasant photo of you? Is it attractive to the viewer's eye, right? Because a lot of us are utilizing social media within this business. I'm not going to hide from that fact. So does it make them want to compliment or steer from you? That's something that you got to think about as well too, you guys, because you are wanting to attract everyone, but at the same time, you're wanting to speak to the right person as well too. So how do you show them that you walk the talk in this business, right? I drop walk the talk in the chat, right, you guys? Because that's something so important in working within this as well too. And, you know, the biggest thing as well too is respect. You know, when you're responding to others, you know, are you quick to listen or are you quick to speak? Are you celebrating people? Are you praising them? Do you think before you post? That's something that I had to work on, you guys. I'm going to be fully transparent with you as well too. You just have to think about, are you being consistent with your respect? And are you being consistent? Because social media is now being utilized to promote many businesses, you guys. So think about, how can it better your business and have people look at you like you're the pro, right? Because I don't know about y'all. 5 years ago, when I started this business, I was a hairdresser, you guys. I was not a financial guru. If you asked me about money and finance, I'd be like, what? Like, hey, I know how to make it. That's what I've always done, right? But, you know, I had to really grow and be consistent in growing social media. So show up as you and bring awareness, especially as well too, when you're growing within this as well. So make sure to screenshot this to you guys as you look back and be able to think about, how can I be a pro as well too? And screenshot this for you too, guys. I'm not going to dive into these deeply as well because I want to be mindful of time. But when it comes to social media, I like to look at it as like the 4 buckets. So how many of you guys go onto your Facebook or your Instagram or whatever platform you use, and you're just like, I don't know what to post about? How many of you guys been there? I know I have. I have those days sometimes where I'm just feeling lack of inspiration, right? Yeah. So think about how you can inspire, how you can be vulnerable with people. It's so funny because I was talking to Mike Fry about this today as well too on our one-to-one, educating people, and also how to storytell and dream. You know, you got to think about, how are you going to inspire people today? Whether it's a quote, a live, or something that you can motivate the people that are watching you. Because guys, even though people might not be liking and commenting on your stuff, they are definitely watching you. So keep that in mind as well too. How are you empathizing with people? How are you being vulnerable, y'all? This is something that you got to keep in mind as well too. How can you be relatable? You know, I know there's things that, you know, before I started this business, I was not the greatest when it came to money. You know, and I was in a space where things were hard, but I can share those experiences and connect with others that may be experiencing the same thing. And then also to educate. How are you educating people on all of this as well? Because you guys are probably learning a lot of stuff being in this business. Amen. Am I right? How is it educating you, and how can you better people's lives with that as well? And then lastly, storytell. It's time to teach your people how to dream, guys. We're in serious times right now where people are not really dreaming. They're worried, they're stressed, they may feel a little icky, right? So you got to start teaching them how to dream again, because a lot of people are not dreaming anymore, you guys. They're worried about money. They're worried about not having time with their families. And how can you do this? Sharing your dreams, sharing your aspirations. Maybe you travel. Maybe you get to stay home with your family when others don't get to. Share that dream because it'll teach people that it's possible as well too. So screenshot this too, you guys. I'm going to be moving on to the next as well too. But one of the things that I'm going to drive us home tonight as well, and thinking about this too, something to remember: who do you help? How do you help them? And what results do they gain from you helping them? Because guys, I always approach this: who are the type of people I want to attract into my business? Do I want to attract somebody that's negative, that's just not nice, or just they just approach the world in a way that maybe I don't approach the world? I want to attract people like me. That's what I'm focused on. So people that I focus on is like, hey, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I run a business. I have an incredible partner. I have incredible kids as well too. I have bonus kids plus my own, and I get to share that dream on my social media. And those are the type of people I want to attract that want to go with me. So think about, who do you want to help? And so incredible reminders to think about as well too, you guys. You always want to engage with every heartbeat. You want to truly serve people, and don't be desperate, you guys. I've been there. I've been a desperate Nelly. Maybe you have been too. We're not all perfect, right? Yeah, drop desperate Nelly in the chat. I don't know where I came up with that one, right? But think about it this way: truly serve people. And then also too, 80-20% rule. Don't spam your profile with your business as well too. You want to focus on connecting with people and engaging with others as well. And, kind of one of the things that I've learned, this is from a social media strategist perspective. When you're growing in your social media, remember, you're the brand. Always remember this, you guys. I think sometimes we fall into the habit of our children, our family, our pets, our cars, our home, they're our brand. No, you're the brand. They're just an addition to that. And always remember that as well too. Because sometimes I do fall to that. Try not to be my son being my brand, right? That's not who it is. It's Jackie Potter. So that's where you guys got to start thinking about as well too, is focus on being you when you're out and being a social media pro as well. And so I'm just going to briefly go over this one. I just want you guys to think about, what is it like to work with you? What is it like to work with you as a client? And then how can you help them achieve their dreams? And you guys can screenshot this as well too. I'm not going to dive into this, but that's what you want to put on social media. What is it like to work with you? How are you going to deliver value? How are you going to help people achieve their dreams? Because that's why they're following you, and that's why they're going to want to be a part of your business. And lastly, this is one that I learned from the incredible John Maxwell. How many of you guys are John Maxwell fans? I am a fan. I love John Maxwell. If you don't know who that is, look him up, guys. He's incredible. But keep this in mind: like, no trust. People are not going to trust you right off the bat, you guys. You got to warm them up, because sometimes social media can be a little chilly. How many of you guys know that? I know that. So build them to like you. Allow for them to get to know you. Have them to get to know the real you. Who are you? And then also too, when the trust is there, they're going to be yours for the taking, you guys. And that's something that you got to keep in mind when you're growing your social media etiquette, when you're becoming a pro in the social media realm. You got to keep this in mind as well too, you guys, because it's going to take things to an ultimate level within your business. So I trust this brought value to you guys. This is coming from my heart space, what I've learned. Drop some fire in the chat, you guys, if this brought value. I just, like how I always say, I thrive off of the chat. But I'm going to stop my share, and I'm going to move it right on to our next incredible. You guys already heard from him. You can give him some fire emojis, because he's about to recognize some of the incredible leaders that are exploding within this incredible organization. Jerome Cooper, take it back from me, man.
What's up? Good stuff, Jackie. Thank you so much. And social media guru, I've been following Jackie's social media for about 5 years now. She's one of the best. So hopefully you guys took some notes. But we're gonna dive into some recognition this evening. Listen, turn your cameras on, get in your chats, get in the chat. We want to recognize some of your teammates. Listen, I want you celebrating your teammates. They've all done something to be recognized tonight. So you want to make sure you're celebrating them. If you don't get recognized tonight, you want to be celebrating your teammates to show that, hey, look, you're going to be up here next time getting some recognition. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to dive right in, get this going. Boom, here we go. All right, let's go. So we got some recognition for you guys. All the RVPs on tonight. Look at all those good looking vice president on tonight. So let's dive right in. We're going to start off with some personal recruiting for the month of September so far. There are 1 million of you at time for third place at 1. So take a screenshot, take a picture of this, give your teammates a shout out on social media. Tag them in a story. Let's go number 2 with 2 directs. Personal recruits this month, Karen Stump, Jarrell, and Jackie Borton. But there's only one, number 1 so far the month of September. And that is Nate and Mel Braley, 3 direct recruits so far in the month of September. Back to work. Great job, Nate and Mel. Way to go. Let's look at personal premium. Out there helping clients with life insurance. You got a top 3 for you guys. Third place with a 3 white tie here. We got at $1,500 in premium, Dan and Taylor Romine. Nate and Mel Braley. I'm gonna start calling you Nathan. I like that better. And Mike and Delisa Fry, $1,500 in premium. Second place, Jarrell and Jackie Borden at $1,700. And we only got one, number 1 so far for the month of September. That's myself and my beautiful bride at $2,300 in premium so far in the month of September. Let's go personal securities. Buy term insurance and invest the difference. Personal securities top 5 list for you guys here. 5th place, Cassandra Rigney. Great job, Cass. 4th place, myself and Mel. 3rd place, Steph and Michelle Miller. 2nd place, Dan and Taylor Romine. But there's only one, number 1 in tonight's Friday night training, and that is Nate and Mel Braley. Sheesh, $259,000 in securities production so far for the month of September. Great job, Nate and Mel leading the charge. Let's go team recruiting below regional vice president. Got a top 3 for you guys. Tie at 1 team recruit so far for the month. Arden and Natasha Hardy. Michael DeLisi, great job, Mike. David Pepper, Dakota Porter, Sharita Mayberry, Daoud Hood, Candy Jen, and John Newman, great job, guys. 2nd place. We got Christine and Wayne Wilkins. We got and it's the tie for second place, and Dana and Malcolm Martin at 2. Great job, guys. But there's only one, number 1 team recruiting below regional vice president. And that is Karen Stump at 3 so far in the month of September. Great job, Mama Karen. Keep going, keep kicking butt and taking names. Let's go team recruiting regional vice president and above. Team recruiting regional vice president and above. Got a top 3 for you. Got Braley Financial Group at 4. 2nd place, Team Redemption at 5. But there's only one, number 1. Give them a shout out in the chat. And that's the Hustlers, Jackie and Jarrell Borden at 11 recruits so far for the month of September. Great job, Jackie and Jarrell. Way to go. Let's go team premium below regional vice president. Got there's only one number 1. Like, we got to get you going. I know we had some teammates have some premium come in before training. Not in time enough to get you on this slideshow, but we know you'll be on next week. So number 1 is Kia and Margaret Fry. And Mike and Delisi Fry, great job at $1,500 in premium so far for the month of September. Let's go regional vice president above in team premium. Top 3, we got the Redemption Base Shop and Braley Financial Group caught at 3rd place with $1,500. 2nd place, Team Grind at $2,300. But there's only one, number 1, Friday Night Live. And that is the Redemption Base Shop at $4,300 in team premium so far in the month of September. Great job, Dan and Taylor. Way to go. Keep leading the charge. Let's go Builder School registration. Look, we got a big event coming up. Big decisions are made at big events, and we want you there. So talk to your regional vice president upline. and find out when the next event is, the one that's closest to you, and let's get you there. But we got a top 3 for ticket sales so far for our big events. We got Team Win and Phoenix tied at 3rd place with 5. We got 2nd place with a tie Team Grind and the Braley Financial Group at 6. There's only one. Number 1, great job, Team Redemption, at 14 people so far registered for our upcoming builder schools in October. That's 6 months of training jam-packed into 2 days. We got some great presenters coming in from all over the country. And on this page here, you guys can screenshot this or take a picture and go and get registered ASAP. We want to have you there. Talk to your uplines about a game plan if you need to put one together. Let's go promotions and licenses. All right, we want to get you licensed so you can start making money, and then promoted so you can make more for doing the same amount of work that you're currently doing. So we got a few here. Shout out to my girl, Jennifer Kraft, on getting licensed today. Great job, Jennifer. Way to go. Proud of you, teammate. Shout out to Malcolm Martin, also partner of Dana Martin, getting licensed today. That's a big dang deal. Way to go, Malcolm, being licensed as a partner, able to help Dana out there. That's so huge, man. Great job. And we got our stud trophy. So every week we like to recognize the top personal producer out of this group of agents, right? So when we look at premium, we look at recruits, right? And that helps us come up with a top producer for the stud. We call them the stud. So let's look at last week's winner, Dan and Taylor Roma. Give them a shout out in the chat. Shout out in the chat. Great job, Dan and Taylor. We got a top 3 for you guys. 3rd place this past week. Myself and my wife, 3rd place. Great job, Bill. Good stuff. Let's go 2nd place. Oh, they didn't repeat this week, but they are in 2nd place. Dan and Taylor Romai. But there's only one. Number 1, the top personal producer for the previous week out of a couple hundred licensed agents. Could it be Nate and Melanie Braley? Great job, Nate and Mel. Kicking butt and taking names, man. He's looking on taking the business to the next level, if you cannot tell. And without further ado, he's actually our next speaker. I'm so excited for this couple. Yeah, we're great friends with them. They have a great business, man. I got the opportunity to work with Nate and Mel in the trenches, and now they are $400,000 per year earners, senior vice presidents in the company. Not only are they winning in business, but they're winning in life. Got a little one on the way. They probably will talk about that a little bit. But so excited to hear from you guys tonight. Nate, Mel, it's on you.
Hey, what's happening, team? Happy Friday night. What an unbelievable honor it is to speak with you guys. And thanks for being so welcoming and our team. I want to give a shout out as well to all of the direct leaders that are direct to us. Right now, we're sitting at 90% cameras on. From our organization. So super proud of you guys. Great job having all those cameras on and being ready to rock. And I'll tell you what, I'm even more excited. We got Gina just logged in. Gina just started with us this morning and she's on. So super proud. Constantine just started the other day and he's on. So really excited for what's happening in the organization, but we're excited to be here with you guys this evening. We're going to share a little bit about our story. And I know Dan said I get to go till 9:30, so we'll make sure we'll get a lot of time left here with you. I'm just kidding. We're going to fly through it quickly, but Mel's going to share a little bit about partnership. I'm going to dive into a little bit about dream setting and goal setting, and then we'll go from there. But just an honor being with you guys. So thank you for the opportunity for having us. That's for sure. And babe, I'll pass it over to you.
All right. I'm so excited to talk to everybody, seeing faces I haven't seen in so long. And it's just so great. My favorite topic in this business is partnership. I love that Primerica honors a couple. You don't have to be in a relationship. It can be mother-daughter, siblings, whatever it is, but they honor 2 people working together. And so our story started, this is an old slide because it's been 11 years now. I need to update it, but 11 years ago in August, so just a little bit past, actually it was the end of July, Nate started in Primerica, came home from meeting and getting started and said, I need you to go to a meeting on a Tuesday. And I thought he was joking. I did not want to go whatsoever, but I did. Why did I go instead of, put my feet in the ground and refuse? Because I support him in everything he does. He really, really wanted me there and told me that. And I'm not going to say no to him in that nature, right? And thank goodness I did, because we all know, ladies, when the guy hears a story and then tries to repeat it, they leave out a lot of details that I personally or we are invested in and want to know.
No, we just don't ask as many questions as you'd like us to.
That's okay. I like to know all the details, all the things. So thankfully I went to the meeting myself. I heard the same message he heard. And, we always have different takeaways, but I got to hear about this company and what it was going to do for us at the moment and in the future. And so my biggest tip is attend all meetings. I was clicking through the cameras and so many partnerships are on, and it's so amazing that you're spending your Friday night, call it a date night, okay? Come on the camera together, go have dinner or cook after together, whatever you want to do, get dessert, but make it a date night, right?
Yeah, Fridays were our date nights. This is what we did. We went to training, and then we would have a date night after. And sometimes you could have couple date nights because we would go with other couples from the team to dinner afterwards. So
I know Jerome and Melody came, we would go out with them many a times in our teams. And gosh, I get like reminiscent. 8-month pregnant hormones could make me cry thinking about it. But those were the best days, I swear.
It was really Jeff Miller. She's like, I'm seeing Jeff Miller. It's so good to see.
I'm so excited. I'm like,
getting emotional out there. She's like, Jerome, oh my goodness, all you guys.
All you OG Relentless. It's just so refreshing, right? I love to hear from you guys. I don't know how to click it. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to give you a few pieces of advice as a partner. The number one thing is finding where you fit. I was coming to trainings at the time. We were in person. We had Tuesday nights, Friday nights, Sunday night calls. Tuesday nights were you got to hear about an overview of the business. And then if you were already at an overview, you got to go into what we called classrooms and learn different parts. And Jerome taught Classroom 101 when we started, and he taught us so much early on in the business. But going there with Nate at that time was where I fit. My role was to go to training. At the time I was in college, I was almost done with my degree. I am a teacher. I choose to work. At the time I was told, we tried and tried and tried for a baby and we weren't having one. And a psychologist, or I guess I don't know what he was technically, but he's like, you work because it fills a void that you don't have your own children. And it made so much sense. I love my job more than anything, but I'm going to be honest, my view towards my job is shifting as I'm about to bring on our own child. He's been waiting for this day.
Coming home, y'all.
But, it's amazing. So I was busy with my own thing. He supported me in that. And all I could commit to is I will be there for you at trainings. And that was fine at the time, right? Because I gave 110% in showing up. I never missed it. There was a semester, I had a college class. It ended at like 8. I still came to training and sat in that op room, the opportunity room. And by the end of that, I was like saying the meeting over and over repetitively, right? But it didn't matter. I did not make an excuse. I made it happen. But no matter what role you're going to choose, be supportive. I can't emphasize that enough, because this business is going to take a toll on the agent, and they just need you, whether you're their girlfriend, their wife, the husband, whoever the main agent is, they need you to be there for them at all times. And they need to feel comfortable communicating to you how they're feeling. I think this is like a life advice. I could not tell people enough. Communicate, communicate, communicate. I believe fights and disagreements happen over miscommunications. Nate and I like to say, like, we are not trying to like sound like we have this perfect relationship and nothing's ever wrong, but we rarely argue. We really rarely fight and argue. And people say, wait till the kid comes. I would like to believe we'll still rarely argue, because we communicate so well.
And one of the biggest things we understand there is you gotta really dive deep to understand that. And this isn't just in partnership. This is in all relationships and all
Yes.
communication. Frustration always comes from unmet expectations.
100%.
And so when you have unmet expectations, that's where frustration comes in from. That's communication. It's because we're not communicating what the expectation is, and that's where we get frustrated.
Yeah. And I think, people can say when you have a kid, it'll be different, but we've already talked about some expectations, right? I'm going to need him to help me wake up, though I'll be home a little bit. If there's a day that I just need rest, he's going to have to step up and do what he has to do. We've already set those expectations for what's to come, and we know that they will change. But my number one point on this slide is solid yellow lines. This was the most aha moment for me in Primerica when I learned this. And if you think of driving, when there's solid yellow lines, you don't cross those lines and go into the next lane. And so you have to put solid yellow lines on your calendar so that your children, your spouse, your whomever it is, your partner feels validated and gets time with you. If you do the love languages, which I kind of skipped over, a lot of women tend to be quality time. That's their number one love language. Well, if you're working a full-time job and you're trying to do a part-time business and it's new, your life is changing with more time being dedicated away from the family. So set solid yellow lines on your calendar. Back in Primerica's earliest days, the partners talk about they did breakfast. Every morning, both mom and dad and kids were at that table eating breakfast before school because they knew dad would be gone for dinner and bedtime. But the kids knew every day I wake up and I get to have breakfast with mom and dad. And so for a while, our solid yellow lines, I always like to say they were dotted. Because we didn't have kids, I was a little bit more flexible, like, yeah, I'm looking forward to Saturday night date night. But if a really big appointment pops up, probably wait till later,
$250,000 rollover that
Yeah.
just happened popped in, but it's okay. You can run.
Go and make the money.
If it's gonna pay us 16 G's, you go run that appointment.
But I'm not saying you have to be flexible, right? Be solid in those lines and make sure the agent, I'm talking to you now, when you're with your family or just your spouse or just your kids, the phone's away. Do not take a call and set an appointment. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Nate, your coach, or Jerome, your coach, or Dan, anybody. Those are that's your family time. Because if your kid goes, oh, I'm just going to be with mom or dad, and they're going to be on the phone the whole time, you didn't really give them quality time.
That's right.
Okay.
I'm going to chime in to be as the agent. A lot of times, guys, you've got to understand, and ladies, right? You have to understand that when you do what you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do them, the time that you're together, you don't have to worry about setting appointments. You don't have to worry about, did that appointment confirm? Is this agent doing this? Is this agent doing that? You don't have to worry about that because you did early on what you were supposed to when you were supposed to, so that when you're spending the time with the family, you're not worrying about that. A lot of stressful times come in, or miscommunication. Things happen because you didn't do what you were supposed to. And then when you get home, you're worrying about, oh my gosh, I got to do this. I got to set this. I got to set that. Well, now you're worrying about things you should have done when you're supposed to be present with your relationship and in your family and everything else.
Absolutely. Next slide, please. But as he's switching the slide, just make sure your attitude is always positive, because
you're touching on Jerome's talk. Look at that.
I know it goes together, right? But when your spouse or partner is out and a client says no, or a new person to join the team says no, that can defeat them a little bit. And so when they come home, they don't want to hear about how annoying the kids were while he was gone, or right. Save that for later. Don't even tell them at all. They know, everyone knows they're kids, right? Like of course they're going to be annoying sometimes. They're kids. That's what they're supposed to do. So keep it positive and light. This one I'm not going to spend a lot of time on. We kind of touched on it, right? Just committing to everything. I thought the opening panel emphasized that big event, October 11th in Florida and October 18th and 19th in Michigan. Our joke right now is, will I make it? I'm due November 5th. So if I make it, I'm gonna be real large and in charge, y'all. So that might be a show in and of itself. Might I go in labor there? You never know. or I'll just get through it. So come to find out, it's
It'd
going to
the
be a
best
big,
Primerica story ever. So
yeah, after all.
it'll be a
these
big
years.
event you'll prevent.
So just come, get on Telegram, follow when your team closes business, encourage everybody. But my favorite, and I'm going to end with this, is just dream together. It's funny, we're looking at past the camera is our dream board, and we actually have not updated it in a really long time. But, you know, on there is an up north cabin, retiring our parents. We have a onesie that says daddy's other chick, though I'm hoping it's a boy. But it's a baby nonetheless, and that we get to take off soon, which is like, whoo, so long. Like, we have other things, amount of money saved, production in the business, at the time we had getting our ring at one time, which means that we crossed $100,000 in 12 months. Maybe you want your watch, you crossed $50,000 in 12 months, a rolling 12 months. You can ask your coach about that. How close am I? How do I get there? All those things. But the best is just talking about the possibilities this company allows. There's dreams I never thought I would ever have, but because of Primerica, I've been able to expand that. And I have my own individual dreams, right? I had my dream car on there. He has his. I have things I want to do. He has his. We dream together. And you want to be specific. Just saying, like, I can't think of something
Regional
right
vice
now.
president.
Yeah.
One of them, like,
Right.
I'm going to go regional vice president. Okay, when?
Right. Put a date, put a monetary dollar. Don't say like a lot of money saved. Well, a lot to you is different than maybe a lot to Jerome or Jeff. Like, what's a lot? Put a dollar amount and be specific, because if you're specific, that's more attainable. So reach your goals together, dream, support each other, and then you'll be able to live everything out. And I promise you, all the hard days, all the time they're away is so worth it. And I'm just so blessed to be in Primerica and have Nate as my partner. I know he's going to be an incredible father, and I just can't wait for all that's ahead. But he's going to kind of go over some other leadership skills. So
Yeah. And, you know, while we're talking about dreams and going through dreams, one of the talks that I want to dive into is, you know, Mel talked about the dream board and what we have and the vision board, right? And so I'm going to kind of dive in. You all should have some dream boards. Dream boards are awesome. Dream boards are what you're visualizing. Dreams are what's been put inside of you that you want to achieve. And so the dream board is a vision to get you there. I want to give you a shout out. Jeff Miller, you're right. There was a Friday night training that I didn't make because I went to a licensing test.
class, yeah.
And Mel took a popsicle stick with my photo on
This
it.
is like our third week in the business. I'm like, I don't know. They run in circles and high five, and I'm nervous.
And she's so coachable. She went to training, y'all. So we
I
still
did,
had
and
people,
took
at
people
training.
with me. I drove
She
people
did.
with us.
She did. So this is what Mel's talking about. This is right behind us. We see it. I see it every day when I look over my monitor and my computer screen. And, you know, guys, on the bottom right-hand corner, this is really cool. Braley's produced RVPs, advanced to SVP. And I just cut all that out. I cut that photo out. I cut the names out. That was John and Brittany Cooper's.
Yep, when they got promoted.
When they got promoted to SVP. And I just took that off of our online website. I cut it all out and I put ours on there. You know, having money saved, daddy's other chick. I can't wait. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl.
Team boy.
Team boy. Either way, we're going to pull that down soon.
Yes.
But what happens when you have a dream board, it's really nice. You get to look at it. But here's some other things we have around our house. Now, this was an older one. This was 2 years ago.
That was last year.
Last year. Okay. So we have roles, goals, business goals, and rewards. And we have 4 of these. Now we've got
they're
one in the
all over.
bedroom, one on our refrigerator, one on our door when you walk out the garage, and we have one in my office. So we're constantly looking at what is our role, what's our goal, and what's our business goal. And so this year, right, is some life goals that we've had, our business goals, and our rewards. We also added some words. Some words for me is growth, and Mel's intentional. Right? Things like saving 10K a month, cook at home 3 days a week, read 1 book a month, attend church weekly, work out 3 times a week. Baby is on there. And what do you know? God's blessing us with that, right? 50 by 50K base shop, $1 million earners, SNSD, 1,200 codes, which by the way, will be crossing over almost 1,000 codes. We should cross 1,000 codes this month. And just great things when you're visualizing that. But guys, this is where it first started. This is a Wheel of Fortune. And what the Wheel of Fortune is we had taken the dream board and we made it digital. And so what we did was we created this on a digital platform. In the center of our our vision board is the things that you need to accomplish in business so that all of your goals and dreams happen. Now, I'm going to coach you right here, and Jarrell loves what I say, Jerome too, right? Dan, even you. I thought too small.
Yep.
Don't think too small. I had on here 20 by 20, and we brought in Andy and Brittany Onstead, right? And I wish I would have had that as a 100 by 100K base, because even though we clipped a 70 by 70K base shop, we were promoting out the Onsteads. If we would have had 100 by 100 or 200 by 200, that would have stretched their vision even more. So make sure you're thinking big, because it costs you no different to think big than small, right? It really doesn't, but it can cost you everything to think too small. And guys, you are seeing all over the company right now, there is no limit to what you can achieve here in Primerica. No limit, okay? But so then we update this. So we go to the next dream board. If you want to take a screenshot of that, I think I made this in PowerPoint potentially. Yep. So you can take a screenshot of this. You can make your own. It's really easy to do. And then we had to update this, right? So we updated it to 100 codes, 100 by 100 in the base, making 30,000 a month, SVP, 3 diamonds, right? Having 100 people showing up to trainings. Right now, tonight is a Friday night training. We got 68 people on here. We know the Onsteads are running their training. We're going to have over 500 people on trainings this evening. And I had 100 people showing up. We've got my dad on there. We got Mel's parents, right? We got my dad. My dad wanted a truck. And so we were going to buy him a truck. And then we wanted to update this. So now we're updated. We got 1,000 license of agents of change, 100 by 100,000, 100K a month in income, $1 million earners. And, some of the cool things we get to remove from this list, Mel blessed me on my birthday. Has always been a dream of mine to golf at Red Run Golf Club in Royal Oak. And guys, why was that a dream? Growing up, we were poor. Actually, I joke, we were po. We couldn't even afford the OR. Like, we were so poor growing up that at the end of our street was this golf course. And you didn't know what it looked like inside because they had this black felt all over the fencing and you couldn't see in. It's a private golf course. And what I knew we weren't poor. We weren't poor because God wanted it to be that way. Unfortunately, we were poor because of my parents' decisions. And I knew, because I had friends growing up that were a part of private golf courses. I had friends that belonged to private things. And so I knew if they belong to private things, then their parents are probably just doing something different than my parents are. I never blamed them for it. I'm glad I grew up the way I did, because it caused me to have grit. It caused me to want to be somebody. It caused me to want to do something different in life. And thank God Primerica crossed my path to be able to do that. And Mel blessed me on my 40th birthday. She found somebody who belonged to Red Run. I got to go out on the golf course there. I got to take my dad. I got to take her dad. And we had just an unbelievable round. And then she surprised me afterwards. It was so amazing. And so that comes off the dream board, right? We've always talked about having a helicopter that we land on our yacht. Andy just texted me literally yesterday of a helicopter landing on a yacht, because we used to watch those videos after Friday night trainings together. Mel's car, you can remove that off. She's got her dream car. We want to travel, right? All these things. And so guys, I wanted to show you your dreams first, because you got to fill the pipeline. And what I mean by this is you got to dig your well before you're thirsty. You got to, when your why is clear, the how-to will appear. Gina, I told her that today. The other day we met to interview her, and I could tell emotionally when I asked her what motivates her, it was her kids. And I could tell she probably could have cried right away thinking about her children. And I knew that this is somebody that could be really big here. It was the Buellers as well when I sat with them and what motivates them, and it's their kids. And so, listen, your kids may or may not motivate you, but you need to find out what it was. For a long time, I lied about my why. I'm just being honest with you. I used to tell everybody it was Mel, it was Mel, it was Mel. And the problem was, is I wasn't working as hard as I should have. And it's because I was lying about my why, which actually impacts her. Because if you're not doing what you're supposed to, and she's the why, she's going, well, if I'm your why aren't you working harder? And so I had to do a deep down research to figure out what my why was. And quite honestly, it was my dad. You know, my dad did the best he could. My mom died when I was 16, no life insurance. My sister was 11. My brother was 3. My dad worked midnights at the police department. I would come home from work at 10 p.m. and he would take the van and go into work. I would have to make sure the kids were down, their homework was done, right? Take care of the kids. I'd wake them up, make sure their breakfast was fed. I had to make sure they were ready for school. Their lunches were taken care of so that I could get them on their way. So that when dad got home with the van, I would take the van. I had to take the kids to school so my dad could sleep. And then I would pick the kids up from school, bring them home, give them to dad. And then I would take the van and go to work. And that's just how we lived. And so I'm telling you, filling the pipeline, I'm telling you, when your why is clear, the how to appear. So once I started realizing I wanted to provide for my dad, I want to retire my dad. Last year he retired, and instead of giving him the truck that he wanted, we actually bought him a motorcycle. It was 25th year anniversary bike. Because he kept working on this 1984 Honda.
We're like, stop.
Oh my God, stop working on the bike, Dad. Jeez. And he still has it, Jerome. He still has it. He's still working on that
Every
one.
time he tried to take it out, something else broke. Him and my dad would get like 2 miles into the ride, and we always joke like one day Bill's gonna be on the back, and they're both big guys, so it would
It's
not
like,
have been
you
a
know,
sight to see.
when you're poor, you have to kind of hoard things. So he's a hoarder.
Won't get rid of
But,
it.
you know, it was just such an honor
Yeah.
to watch my dad light up. I said, Dad, it's yours, free and clear.
He's not an emotional guy, and he didn't cry, but you could just feel the emotion. He was like in the video, like, I don't know what to say. Or like, there's nothing to say. Like, this is yours. And so that was really special.
And all the no's, all the rejection, all the naysayers, all the arguments and miscommunications with teammates, all these things, guys, it all goes away. It all goes away when you're able to provide for the people in your life that even maybe question you. Can you do this? Will it be worth it? And they're questioning you. My dad at a couple of times thought, hey, maybe you should get a different job.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should be doing something different. And that's okay, as long as you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You got to believe in you. So you got to fill your pipeline, y'all. You got to know the 8 fundamentals, right? Prospecting, setting appointments, presentations, overcoming objections, product knowledge, recruiting across the kitchen table, fast start and meeting attendance. I was telling Gina today, I know other people's products better than they do. I know Universal Life better than the people that sell it. I know all these things better than they sell it because I've learned it. And I love what Jackie talked about. Jackie did such a good job that
She really
Facebook
did.
and social media, it's a tool in the tool belt. But if you remember, not that long ago, there was a blackout. Facebook, Meta, WhatsApp, right? It all shut down for a day. That's why social media can only be a tool in your tool belt. You got to have 1,000-person names list, right? Most people underestimate what it's going to take to win here. Guys, most problems in Primerica are list problems. You don't think you have enough people to talk to. But what percent of people use money? Put in the chat, what percent of people you think use money? What percent? Jarrell, of course, Jarrell. So Coach Lee's first on it. Jeff Miller on it. Look at you guys. 100% of people use money. And I tell you, 100% of people want to do better with money.
Yes.
And 100% of people want to have more money. I was golfing with my golf partner yesterday. We're talking about a business that we're looking at potentially investing in. And dude, the guy's net worth is probably $10 million. And he wants more money because it provides more options for your family. All right. And so you got to have 1,000-person names list, y'all. Names, numbers, qualified. And some of you are brand new. You're like 1,000 people. Like, where do you find all the people? Listen, you got to go all the way back to kindergarten. You know 1,000 people. I promise you. Some of you have 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 Facebook friends alone, right? And when you have 1,000-person names list, you got an abundance mindset. When you have a 25-person names list, that's good to start off with, but you're praying that everything goes through. You're praying everything closes. You're like, please, sweet baby Jesus, let this life app go through because I need this promotion right now, right? But you got to think hard. I talked about going back to kindergarten. You got to go from digital to paper. I'm telling you, it makes a world of difference. You got to write your list out. I still operate from my contact list. And guys, I want to free you a little bit here. I was a name on a list.
Mhm.
Jeff Miller was a name on a list. Jerome Cooper, Jarrell Borden, these people, they are names on a list. That's all it is. It's just a name on a list. Facebook, phone book, wedding list, spouse contacts. You got to convert them all over. Okay. And then you got to have a 5 to stay alive. For those of you who are full-time or you're working to go full-time, you got to be doing 5 things a week that is going to generate 30 to 50 new contacts a week. I'm back on my A game. I started looking at a BNI. I looked at some networking groups this week, right? I'm
He's got like
regenerating.
blind date networking dinner.
Yeah, I got blind date networking dinner next Wednesday. It's gonna be totally awkward, but hey, I'm in it, y'all. I'm back in it. I'm doing the things we did to build this business. It's cute. I don't even know what's gonna happen. It's not cute.
He's like, I don't even know where to go for the night before.
It's a weird website. I don't know what's gonna happen, y'all. It's kind of it's all right. But look, we got business networking, right? Chambers of commerce. I just looked at the Sterling Heights Chamber of Commerce getting back in there. Professional networking, church. You should go to church because it's the right thing to do. But you know what my pastor says at church every Sunday? Turn around and introduce yourself to somebody. My pastor's asking me to prospect. I love this guy. And oddly enough, we're creatures of habits. We sit in the same seat every Sunday. And then we meet some new people, but then you get to start to develop relationships with those around you. The gym, referrals, recruits. You know, Gina's on here. Gina was a referral to Gina, our functional doctor that we see. She referred her over to us. And then recruits, right? Looking for people who want to change their lives. All right. And then previous employers. Who'd you used to work with? Who did you work with at X amount of business and X amount of business, right? Social media, doing 10 something a day. So this is messaging, liking posts, commenting on posts. You know, you got to make sure, like Jackie did such a good job. You got to post things that are attracting people to you. You want to be an attraction magnet, and you want to attract the right people. You don't want to repel anybody. So if I could coach you in any regard this evening, look, lay off the politics. I know we're in that season, but lay off the politics, lay off the religion. You know, we should speak religion because we want to attract people to Christ, but you can do that by being a good steward. You can do that by living as a good example. For us, I believe that God has blessed us with the people in our organization, like the Romais, the Onsteds, Jarrell and Jackie, right? All these great leaders, I believe God brought them to us so that people can look to Mel and I and go, wow, look what God did. Not look what we did, right? We ran the play. We ran the play, but God blessed us. And so by being good stewards, I believe that that's an attraction, right? How money works, faith and finances, faith over finances, sports, mom to mom. Y'all listen. We haven't had kids and we built this business in 11 years. Jerome, y'all got some kids. You're going to see what happens. Daddy is going to be up in that stroller prospecting all the moms at the park. Everyone's been like, where's Nate been?
All right,
He's not even in front of his camera. Why is Nate at the park all day? Because I'm prospecting. I'm going to be all now. I got to tread lightly. I'm not trying to hit on anybody, right? I'm trying to attract them to the business. I'm going to be like, hey, who handles your life insurance? You got
we'll go together. It's less creepy.
Oh, there we go. Go together. Yes. All right. I get to spend more time with my wife. That's a win. She likes quality of time. I like prospecting. It's a win-win, y'all. We are going to build this thing so big with this baby coming, and it's a tax write-off. My goodness.
Oh boy.
All right, Steam.
See, dogs too. He's right.
Yeah, dogs too. Steam. Listen, Steam is where you're going to meet with people that maybe are already clients of yours or good referral sources to you, and you're going to steam them. Steam is, hey, talk to me. Who do you know that's the best salesperson? Who do you know that's a great teacher? Who do you know that's most enthusiastic? Who do you know that's ambitious? Who do you know that's money motivated or most competitive? I like that one as well, right? Like Jerome, I'll never forget. Jerome Cecil Cooper changed my life forever. Ian, Mel and I were sitting down at the orientation table.
Oh my gosh.
And Ian's drawing circles, y'all. We now have websites. I don't know if y'all use Teachable. We use Teachable. We have websites that have all the training materials. We have videos for orientation. Ian would draw circles. Here's how you get promoted. You do this, you do that. And then Jerome came into that back office and Ian said, I want to introduce you to my top dog. This is Jerome Cooper. He's one of my top dogs. and
It's
blah,
our
blah, blah.
first meeting, by the way.
First
we don't
meeting.
know anybody.
And I'm a little arrogant. I had a big
Was.
ego about me. I wasn't self-developed. I wasn't changed. And I looked at Jerome and I said, I'm going to take you out. And that guy changed my life. Because you know what Jerome Cooper said to me? He said, I've seen hundreds like you.
He did.
Yeah, right. That was all I needed.
Yep.
Jerome, you poked the bear. That was all I needed. You changed my life forever. And it allowed me. So I was at a rep or senior rep, maybe district leader. Jerome was at senior regional leader. And I would compete at my level, but also continue to watch Jerome's numbers. If Jerome was Ian's number one guy, I wanted to be the number one guy. Yeah. So I just kept watching Jerome's numbers, and I would compete at district, but I wanted senior regional leader. It took us a good month to 2 months, 3 months, probably 4 months before we started climbing. But once in 1 month, we went from district to senior regional leader in our 3rd month in business. In our 7th month in business, became regional vice presidents. And I thank Jerome and Melody Cooper. They trained us so much.
Yes.
You guys don't know the coaches that you have right now. I'm just going to be honest with you. The Jeff Millers, the Romais, you guys have such incredible leadership in this team and this Friday Night Live, y'all. They can change your life forever if you be coachable, okay? And the easiest part about our business, guys, is to constantly be adding to the list and removing people from the list. That's it. It's literally that simple. How do you remove somebody? They become clients or they get started with you in business. That's it. Or they say, don't you ever dare, ever, never, ever call me again. And I've never had that happen. Maybe once.
I want to add something. When you talk about adding people to a list, I think we're easy to prejudge. They make a lot of money. They don't need to be on my list. I did a talk last week and I went to this speaker the first day of school that was brought in. And the quote I just think about every single day is he said, A students will work one day for C students. Okay, just because that person in high school is so smart and you think they have such a good job, they're going to get out at some point. Y'all, I saw Jarrell. She's hinting at the pink slip. I'm looking at not returning to work next year. I'll finish this year. Who knows what will happen? But if I could tell you that out of 20 teachers in my building, we're a smaller school, 8 of us are, well, I'm not retiring. I'm just flat out quitting. 7 of them are literally counting down their days to retirement. One might leave in January. One could retire at any time. Another one's like, I have 4 years. And every day we're like, oh my gosh. Like, it's hard. Teaching is not what it was before. So think about, don't overestimate anybody because they all need to be on your list.
Yeah, Jeff Miller's exactly right. I saw Dan, you commented too, your chicken list, right?
Early.
Like my dad was a little bit on my chicken list, but I knew my dad didn't have his finances in order, right? Mel's parents, I'm like, man, they're all set. Mel's mom had a universal life policy, and
since she was like 20,
she was 20. She's like, Nate, I worked in life insurance. I know all about this. It's great. It's good. Blah, 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 blah. We sat down with her. We said, hey, I think there's 800 in cash left in this policy. She said, no way. There's at least 15,000. We called the company together. There was less than $800. It was within 6 months of completely canceling, y'all. 6 months of completely Mel's mom that I thought was completely all set and taken care of. And they had like 150,000. We got them 500,000 for the same premium for 20 years, right? I mean,
but she had been paying on that. She was 60 or no, in her 50s at the time.
22 years.
Okay.
It was because it started to self-cannibalize. Your coaches will teach you on all that, but it eats away at itself. It's disgusting what's out there, y'all. All right. So if you don't know your numbers, you're going out of business. Those of you that are new, brand new, this might be way over, okay? But how many kitchen table appointments do you need in order to make $5,000 a month? And I got to blow through this because I only got a few minutes left. I want to give Dan all the time he needs. So how many appointments do you need to set? And how many calls do you need to make? How many contacts does that take? Take a photo of this. This is how I run my business and what I run through. How to get the income that you want to earn here. Okay. I'm using a division leader. Division leader is a 60% commission contract. So you want to make $5,000 in personal income this month. You have to do $8,500 in personal premium. Okay. Well, that means you're going to need to get on 17 kitchen tables or 17 Zoom appointments where you're helping families to close $8,500 in premium. In order to get on 17 kitchen table appointments, you need to have 34 set for the month. And that will get you on 17 because, believe it or not, I had 2 reschedules today. It still happens to me, guys. People reschedule, okay? So you need to speak to 68 people. That means you may need to dial 170 people. Here's what's freeing for you. I'm going to free you tonight. I didn't care if the people told me yes, no, they sent me to voicemail. It didn't matter. As long as I press that little call button, if you dial 170 times and you divide out your $5,000 in income that you'll make, you will make $30 every time you hit send. No matter if they answer, they send you to the voicemail, or you set an appointment. That fires me up. I love getting paid to work. And so this is all you do. You just need to turn your thinking around and say, every time I press send, $30. Now, you're not getting paid it right away, but as long as you run the numbers, you will get paid that by the end of the month. You get paid to dial here, okay? And this was something, a quote from our Montessori school. Discomfort is the price of admission to a meaningful life. It's going to be uncomfortable, y'all. You're going to do some things that are just uncomfortable. You got to get outside of your comfort zone. Comfort is where people go to die. Right. Discomfort is the price of admission to a meaningful life. Guys, we thank you so much for having us on. We're so proud of every single one of you. And it's just an honor to speak to you guys and this team. It really is a blessing. And I have, without further ado, the distinct pleasure, $200,000 a year earner, guys. $200,000, right? That doesn't happen in the corporate world. These guys are just super coachable. They travel. They're spending time with their family. They're getting closer with their children, and they're building a great business. Welcome in Dan Romine. Take it away, brother.
If I can figure out how to unmute myself. Thank you. No. Awesome. Awesome. Hey, that was such a great talk. And that last slide, Nate, I love that. $30 every time you guys hit send on your phone. Like if if you can change your perspective around hitting the send button, it'll make a big difference for you. So I have a couple of things. I was going to make a slideshow, but I figured it would just be a little easier for me to kind of walk through a few points with you all tonight. But before I do that, if my Zoom will work, oh my gosh, there we go. Okay, so before I do that, I have a huge announcement for you all. And no, I know you're thinking I'm not pregnant. But before we get going, guys, I have a big announcement, guys. Everybody put congrats in the chat. Okay, everybody drop congrats in the chat. We have a new regional leader up in the Redemption Base Shop that we're super excited to announce and to promote to regional leader tonight. We were waiting on Malcolm to pass that test. And so Dana and Malcolm Martin, these guys came in through Arden and Natasha back in, I think, late April, early May. And we're so proud of what they're doing right now because, guys, Dana is working this, I mean, part-time, but like 20, 25 hours probably a week. And she's got 4 kids under 5 at home. I mean, Malcolm also has 4 kids under 5 at home as well, but Malcolm is working his job, right? He's out of the house. And so Dana's juggling some kids and making it happen here. She's got a great team, an awesome group of people that are just rocking and rolling. And so Taylor and I are so dang proud of you guys. And this is only the beginning for you guys. And we're so excited to see where you all go in this business. And we're fired up to spend some time with you guys next week when you come down here to Myrtle Beach. But guys, I'm going to talk about where everything starts for you in your business. I'm going to share a whiteboard for a tablet really quick. We're using the old whiteboard because y'all run wild if not. And so let's see. Can you see this? Yeah, you can. Okay, awesome. All right. So guys, you should have a personal minimum. Everybody type like personal minimum or standard in the chat. I don't care which one you want to put. Personal minimum is a little bit weird. Your standard. You should have like personal standards. Something that you refuse to not hit every month. Okay, and I believe that that number, or what that should be for you, is 3 by 5. Okay, so what I mean by 3 by 5 is 3 recruits and 5K in sales. Okay, so 3 recruits and 5,000 in sales. It doesn't really matter where all this comes from. Okay, like, well, damn, where did my 3 recruits come from? I don't care. It could come from Panera. You could do what Jerome does and hang out outside of Walmart all night long. You can go prospecting. You can do social media. You can do whatever you want. It literally doesn't matter. Business cards, it does not matter at all. If you get 3 recruits a month and you do 5 sales, where do your 5 sales come from? Literally anywhere. It doesn't matter. Stop overthinking it and just go find 5. There are 5 people in your neighborhood right now, probably, by the way, that you could go cover for life with life insurance if you would just ask them, right? Most of your problem, you don't, like Nate talked about the list and calling your list and having 5 to stay alive. If some of you just used 1 to stay alive, you would be so good. Like you would make so much more money in your business here than you do in your job, but you're afraid to really just get to work. And that's what I want to I want to show you why this is important. Sorry, Axel just busted in my room with a pink headband on with purple hair dangling down the side of his head. Go out, dude. Sorry. But anyway, so sorry, that was hilarious. I'll post a picture in the Telegram later for you all. So when you have 3 recruits and $5,000 in personal sales as a district leader, you're making about $2,500 a month. Okay, if you're a regional vice president, you're making 5,500-ish, and then at the 75% advance, call it 4,500 or so a month. So what this does, this 3 by 5 at a personal standard, if you're doing 3 by 5 yourself, this is doing 2 things for you. Number one, on this side, what it's doing for you is it's allowing you to start building a team. Right? It's getting people into your business who you are I'm gonna say asking permission to train them, kind of. But if you're doing what you need to do in Primerica, how many of you all know that when people come in, they're like lost little sheep and they don't have any freaking idea under the sun what to do? So you're not really asking them for permission to train them so much as you're saying, hey, this is what we need to do to get you moving. Some of you guys aren't having success in field training because you're like, oh, well, if it makes sense, right? I always say, if it pleases the crown, we're going to make some calls. No, we're making some calls because we have to, because we got to get you in the field so that way you can win. So you need to get 3 people that you can get in the field. Okay. So sometimes for you to get 3 recruits that take you field training, you got to recruit 7 or 8 people, especially if they're all cold market, social media, like prospects, like random people from out and about. Like you're going to have to recruit 5 or 6, but it starts with 3. Your minimum is 3, because if you get 3, at least 1 person will take you to see somebody. Okay, so you need 3 recruits a month, and then you need 5,000 in sales because you got to stay in business long enough to build a business. I know some of you all are brand new and you've not been here for very long, and you're going to hear that said a lot. You need to stay in business long enough to build a business. Okay, some of you guys are struggling because you're dependent on your team to do anything. Right. And let's be honest, like your team is not big enough, because if your team was big enough, we would see you on the leaderboard as base shop recognition and cash flow. We would know who you are. I'm not trying to be mean, but like you need to understand that your business, like it's not big enough yet. Like I'm telling you from firsthand experience, even as an RVP, it's not big enough. Like you got to keep going and keep building and keep working until you have RVPs that are producing RVPs, and then you can chill if you want. Right. But even honestly, like even at that point, like you see like Nate and Mel, they're back out here getting after it again. Why? Because there's another level that they can go to. And I'll tell you right now, like just from my personal preference right here, like Nate, with you busting your butt out here and working again, it's got me fired up to go work. Right. Why? Because he's leading from the front. Right. So like when you want to win, when you want your team to take off, you have to do this. This is a non-negotiable. It's a non-negotiable. You need to make like whatever it takes for you to get to the next level. You need to lock in this 3 by 5. Okay, if you are going to fight with me on this 3 by 5, the rest of my next, like, I'm going to go like 3 minutes over. I'm sorry. But then the rest of my like 8 minutes here is going to not matter to you, because if you can't commit to 3x5 personal, the rest of this won't happen. Okay, because if you recruit 3 and you do 5,000, you're setting a good example, right? So your team's going to see you and they're going to start working. But of your 3 that you recruit, and I know this is a little bit different than Aristida does it, so bear with me for some of you that have know how he does this. But if you get 3 people and one of them allows you to train them how to do 3x5, and you do your 3x5, the next month, what's going to happen is you're going to get at least 6 by 10. And I'm pretty sure for everyone on this call, that is at least a district leader, if not better. Right? So now right here, you're a senior rep. And right here, you're a district leader. I have to write all this with my fat pointer fingers. I'm sorry. So bear with me if it's a little bit squished. But so if you do this, if you're doing this and you're leading from the front, guys, what's going to happen is one of your leaders is going to be like, oh, Dan did 3x5. Maybe I should try that. And so then they're going to go and get 3. But we recruited 18 people last month. If I were to guess, this month, our base shop, we will have somewhere between 2 and 3 people, including myself, that do 3x5. And then we'll have a whole bunch of like onesie twosies, right? Like we'll have someone will recruit somebody and someone will close a random life app and things like that. But we're going to have 3 people that do their 3x5. So if I have 2 people that do 3x5, we're at 6x10, right? So now of those 6x10, I can go and count on another 1 or 2, let's say another 2 people to go and do 3x5. So what's going to happen here is we're going to all of a sudden go from 6 to 12 by 20. And when that happens, you're a regional leader. I mean, or you really, honestly, probably a senior regional leader in most cases. Right? Which is an 80% contract. Right? So now you're out here at 20K in premium. Off your own pen, you make $4,000. Right? Off your own pen, you make $4,000. If you have 10,000 coming in under a division leader, you have a 20% spread on that. So you make 2K off that. And then you have another, let's say 5,000 coming from a district, and your override on that's going to be 1,500. So, sorry, chicken scratch, fat fingers, bear with me. So you make 7,500. No, that'd be a lot. 75,000 K would be great. You make $7,500. We're just going to trash this whole thing. So you make $7,500. Oh my gosh, I did the K again. Bear with me, guys. I'm struggling today. You make $7,500 as a senior regional leader 3 months into making a commitment to go get big. Right? Well, how does that happen? Well, this happens because you decided to do your 3x5. And you cast a good enough vision that one person, one sorry soul on your team decided to take what you told them to do and to do it. Right? Because you tricked one other person into building a business, right? I'm using silly words, obviously, right? You're not tricking nobody. You're teaching them how to build a business. And it starts with you setting an example. So many of us, we want a big business. We want to build a team. We want the override. We want the income, right? Like Daryl, you need that $7,500. I just showed you how to do it. What's going to determine if you need it or not is if you go get it, right? Because it's out there for every single one of us to go do that, right? I love what, Nate, what you said when Jerome's, I've seen 1,000 people like you, right? I can't tell you how many people that we've recruited or that have come into, when we were in Andy's base shop, into the base shop or in our team, they're like, I'm going to take your job, right? Good. I want you to come. Please come. Please outproduce me, please, for the love of God. If someone would outproduce me ever one time, that'd be awesome, right? I would love that forever. Actually, last month was the first time ever in our business that somebody outproduced me in a single month in personal premium. And it was Dana and Malcolm. Right. And so for me, what that shows me is like, okay, we've got people that will do the dang thing. Right. And so can we go out and find some more people? Right. Can we go out and find other people? Are there more people like you and like me that want to win in the world? I would say probably. Right, dude. Like it's one of those things where like nobody else in your life that has a leadership position in your life in terms of work, your boss, right? Your coworkers. I promise you, they want you to do good, but just good enough that you don't outdo them, right? Because if you outdo them, what happens is you take their job, right? Or they feel threatened. Guys, listen, in Primerica, like at the end of the day, when all is said and done, like your uplines want you to win. Like your coaches, your trainers, whoever brought you into the business wants you to do better than them. I'm telling you, I promise you, right? They want you to do better than they are. Why? Because they get paid off of that. And they should be leading from the front. Like your upline, your trainer, your coach should be in the trenches. They should be working. They should be fighting to help you get your promotions, right? Like I don't believe, hopefully I'm not wrong, but I don't think that Dana and Malcolm would tell any of you all for a second that I wasn't there to answer and help anytime they had questions over the last couple of months, right? We're out here working, doing what we need to do to help them win, to help them get to where they need to get to. Guys, your coaches and your trainers, they want you to win. Right. And it starts by you making a decision to get 3x5. And then let me just take one quick step back here as I wrap up. Guys, listen, if you're licensed and you're on this call right now and you want to get to where you want to be and you want to make some money and you want to, I'm not just saying if you want to be part-time, make a little bit of extra cash, that's awesome. But like if you want to build a business, if you want to get promoted, if you want to get to RVP, do not tell your coach that you want to get to RVP if you cannot make a commitment to get 3x5 personal. Because I'm telling you, everything starts there. It all starts with you getting after it and going and committing to getting 3x5. Guys, listen, this is my call to action for you all as we wrap this up. Okay, so we're done after I tell you to do this. So if you are not a regional vice president yet, and you can commit right now, we have 17 days left of the month-ish, give or take. We have about 17, 18 days left of the month. That means you need to run 2 or 3 appointments a day and you'll hit your numbers, right? You'll hit your 3x5. If you can commit to getting your 3x5, I want you to text your regional vice president, okay? So not your direct coach unlicensed, but your regional vice president, and commit to getting that 3x5. Right, guys, and listen, like only text your trainer, only text your RVP if you're actually going to allow them to hold you accountable to getting that done. I don't care where you're at in your numbers right now. You could be 0x0, you could be 2x4 right now. It doesn't matter. I don't care. It doesn't matter where you're at right this second. Every single one of you, if you want it bad enough, you could go get 3x5, frankly, by next Friday. Right? You could. It's out there. It exists. It's possible. Right? But what price are you willing to pay to do it? And here's a little, like just a hint, and I'll just say this. I believe if the newer you are, the easier it is to get your 3x5. Because you got a coach working with you, your trainer's taking you, you got the best person in your entire organization going with you to set appointments. Right? If you've been around for a little while, you got to get after it. I got one text so far as well. Right? You got to get after it. You got to go make it happen, guys. 3x5 starts with you. Building a big base shop starts with you. It doesn't start with your downline. No one cares who you recruited. It starts with you. All right, guys, go get after it. We love you all. Guys, give it up in the chat for all the speakers and the guests we had on. Nate and Mel, thank you so much. Jarrell and Jackie, thank you guys for taking time out of your days to come here. We're glad your teams are able to join us. We love you all. Have an amazing Friday night. And